The U.S. border stretches over thousands of miles. And every day, agents and officers of the Department of Homeland Security guard the front lines as illegal immigrants and drug traffickers search for new ways to penetrate 24/7. Over the next 48 hours, agents bust a cartel operative in a gangland housing project. Confiscate millions in cocaine from a Virgin Islands stash house.
Somebody's hurting right now.
And intercept drug traffickers in deadly seas. These are the border wars.
Welcome to San Juan.
(3 a.m.) A Dash 8 radar plane scans the waters off the west coast of Puerto Rico. CBP Air and Marine Supervisor, Officer Hector Badillo, spots a suspicious boat.
All units, looks like there are lights out.
Maybe waiting for something, it's going left and right, staying in the same position.
We have a vessel navigating lights out. That's not usually a common method of any vessel coming in the island. We're gonna go check it out.
Officer Ronnie Chinchilla's two-boat team approaches carefully. If it's smugglers, they could try to escape, heading back through the dangerous Mona Passage. The 80-mile Mona Passage separates Puerto Rico from the Dominican Republic. Smugglers brave its churning currents to reach U.S. soil.
Position 1738-6718, doing a course of 058 at 8 knots. Then it's a YOLA type vessel. I'll copy.
The boat looks like a small wooden fishing vessel known as a YOLA, often used by smugglers. Most are around 20 feet long.
Has visual contact with a target of interest. Gave us last position of target. We plotted it on our GPS, and we're headed right to it.
For now, all officers can do is track the boat. They can't intercept anyone until they're in U.S. jurisdiction, 12 miles from the Puerto Rican coast.
We need to play this one safe. I'm going to stop around 11. Yeah, we don't want to get too close to us so they can hear. That course 067, that's around 8 knots. We're planning to, like last time, wait for them at the 12 mile. To make them more.
We should get them in jail tonight, you know.
Suddenly, the small YOLA disappears from Badillo's radar.
But we don't have a visual of the target on later. Roger, we haven't seen anything yet.
You can't see it, you can't see it.
The boat may have capsized or changed course. But just as suddenly as it fell from view, the YOLA reappears.
Okay, we got it again, guys.
Last we added is they were doing a 060 course about 8 knots. They're going northeast.
Chinchilla and his team make their move.
We're a couple yards away. We're heading over alongside.
Looks like whales inside.
¡Hola, mano! ¡Súbala!
4 a.m. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement headquarters in San Juan. An ICE task force gathers for an early morning briefing.
Well, good morning. My name is Vanessa Blanco. I'm the case agent. Her name is...
Their assignment, break a child pornography ring. Today's mission is to arrest 2 men suspected of producing and distributing images of children under 14.
So be careful.
Special Response Team agent Salvador Santiago leads the first bust.
We are going to execute an arrest warrant. It is at the housing project Villa España in San Juan. We are gearing up to head out. Whenever we get out, there's going to be flashbangs. It's probably going to be 2 of them. Once we go into the house, there is going to be explosions.
In ICE's crackdown on internet child pornography, the suspect is considered a threat to Homeland Security.
5 minutes.
For Santiago, the mission is also personal.
I'm human, okay? And I'm a parent as well. So to me, it's important that I put guys like this away. I love what I do, and I can admit that I love putting these guys away. 1 minute!
1 minute.
30 seconds!
30 seconds!
¡Policía! 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 ¡Ahora es! ¡Ahora es!
People on board, heads up. Looks like males inside.
CBP air and marine officers intercept 2 suspected drug smugglers 11 miles from Puerto Rico.
¡Súbala, mano! ¡Súbala! ¡Súbala!
With the 2 suspects in custody, Officer Ronnie Chinchilla must now search the vessel in dangerous seas.
Guys, I'm putting you in that Yola, okay? Take it easy, guys. Take it
We have a visual of the target. All subjects are detained. The crew members are aboard the Yola at this time.
Got some fishing gear,
9-4.
4 fuel tanks.
Their initial search turns up nothing. Officers may have risked their safety to stop 2 fishermen.
Hey. Positivo, positivo.
Positivo.
Hey, droga, hey. They got drugs.
Coño, let's open up a little bit.
Whoa.
Let's open up.
EPS, mándalo. Hay paquetes, ¿o no? Sí, no, hay paquetes. Leave it there. Leave everything there. I just want to check what we have. Slightly open the package and let me know. Abra un paquete. Déjame saber si hay ladrillos ahí.
Hey.
Positivo. Hay bricks?
Yeah.
Hey, 2
bags full of bricks.
The Yola at this time. They initially said it looks like we have a positive for Santaman. Rough guesstimate right now is at least 40 bricks. 4-0. That's a rough guesstimate. That's not counting, just looking at it and saying, quick number. Yeah, Brian, thank you.
Now, Chinchilla has a new challenge: get the boat back safely. If it capsizes, critical evidence against a cartel will be lost.
Does it have the hook up front? Yes, it has the hook up front.
Mira, a ver, tiene gancho al frente, Elvis.
Alright, I'm gonna come up, I'll check it out. No hook.
Go for a 9-4.
Yes, the Yola doesn't seem to have a hook up front. It did have a hole wire lock.
Unable to tow it, officers must navigate the vessel on its own power.
For now, that sounds like a good plan. Let's check how much fuel they have on board, see if we can make the trip.
Yeah. It's got engine start, and it has at least 20 gallons of fuel.
With sea swells rising, the flimsy wooden boat may not survive the journey to shore.
So let's go ahead and start RTB. As long as our 2 crew members are good, we can keep comms on them. I'll keep a spotlight on them, and if anything does happen, we'll come alongside and reassess. I'll copy.
"5:30 a.m. CBP officer Ronnie Chinchilla is on guard as he transports drugs to shore. Cartel operatives may be watching.
Says the guys are still sitting on the beach waiting for the Yola to come in, so.
They make it to the Aguadilla Marine Unit safely. The suspected drug mules will be questioned on any cartel connections.
These the two subjects tonight, you know, they didn't defend their load. All they had was a knife on board, and they were typical just delivery men.
Low-level operatives risk their lives, often for just a small fee. But Chinchilla wants more than delivery men.
As you can see, the Yola was marked, and then they scratch off the markings for us to not identify nationality on the vessel.
The boat offers no more secrets, so agents turn to the drugs themselves. Cartels mark their drugs with unique signatures.
They usually mark them. As you can see, some are marked. You can see a 5-2. It's an identification method that they use, that this drug trafficking organization uses for identifying their certain bricks. It could mean anything. This 52 could go to one side of the island. It could mean anything. It's unknown. So right now I'm getting a small part of the contraband. That should be enough. Here comes the second one. Should get a pink. But if it goes from dark blue to any other color, then we got a positive, which is the chemical reaction happening there. We have a thicker base at the top and then a thinner at the bottom. And that's what gives us what we want.
The load tests positive for cocaine and heroin.
41 packages, 41 bricks.
Every kilo here in Puerto Rico is going for approximately $22,000 to $25,000. Heroin here is about 35. We got approximately $1.5 million.
For Chinchilla, tonight's bust is just one battle in the ongoing fight against South American cartels.
We're preventing narcotics to enter circulation in Puerto Rico and then be possibly transferred to the U.S.
At a San Juan housing project, ICE agents storm a suspected child pornographer's apartment.
Close door to the right, close door to the right, close door to the right, close door. Closet here, I'm gonna open this closet. I'm gonna open the closet. I'm gonna open the closet.
Agents want to secure electronic evidence that could help put their suspect behind bars.
We executed the warrant. We arrested the guy that we were looking for. Right now, he has a computer in his room, and we want that computer.
The suspect will be taken to ICE headquarters for questioning, and his computer will be analyzed. Then, Agent Salvador Santiago gets an emergency call.
Estamos fuera. Estamos.
Across town, the second task force has reached their target. But their suspect has tried to kill himself.
Let's go. If you guys are gonna get in, you need to get in now.
One of the locations, the other location we were supposed to assist if anything happened, the guy apparently stabbed himself.
Probably know what's gonna happen. He knows that it's a severe crime and he just didn't want to deal with it. We'll see.
The task force's only SRT medics are traveling with Santiago's unit.
Our medic is heading over there to give him first aid, and we're gonna go over to provide security if anything was to happen.
It's a 10-mile drive to the wounded suspect's house. As Santiago's team races through San Juan, every second counts. At 6 a.m., ICE agent Salvador Santiago and a team of medics race to save a suspect's life. An alleged child pornographer has attempted suicide and may have just moments to live.
A la izquierda, a la izquierda.
medics rush in to give emergency care.
No. Cuando entro al cuarto, el tipo está con el cuchillo al lado, bañado en sangre. Ya sabía. Y perdona, mami, perdona.
Ivan Ortiz tries to make sense of the situation.
Y todo el mundo, freeze. Empezamos a chequear. Está el tipo.
En el piso ya.
En el piso tirado.
Antes de que ustedes entraran.
Sí, antes de que nosotros,
Sí,
pero todavía tenía el
parece
cuchillo
que
en la
cuando
mano.
escuchó los ruidos fue que se encerró. He already knew of the problem.
Okay.
Now the paramedics are here and they're ready to take him to the hospital, and so we don't know his condition yet.
The suspect is a school teacher who'd been under investigation for weeks.
Evidently, all these targets knew that sooner or later we were going to go after them. Evidently, when he saw all the law enforcement officers making it to the house, he went ahead and locked himself into his room and stabbed himself.
I would say the guy knew we were coming. It was the police. He already knew what was going to happen. He knew he was going to go away for a long time, and he decided to take a chance with his life. Bad choice, but it's his choice.
"10 a.m., 75 miles from San Juan. Homeland Security Investigations Special Agents Harry Schmidt and Jaime Abreu seized a haul a few hours ago on the island of St. Thomas. The U.S. Virgin Islands are in ICE's Puerto Rican jurisdiction.
We got cocaine, we got marijuana, we got 2 firearms, and just miscellaneous documents, 9 rounds, that was found.
It was stored at a stash house where we served a search warrant last night.
It may be the biggest seizure of the year. Schmidt estimates the street value at over $10 million. But the agents want more than drugs. They want to bust the cartels behind them.
They use what they call the Caribbean corridor. They go from island to island, all the way until they can get it into the U.S.
Cartels fight to control the Caribbean corridor, moving drugs as far north as they can. Drugs that sell for $10,000 in Latin America could hit 20 in San Juan and 50 in Miami. As traffickers target U.S. markets, the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico have become dangerous gateways.
So right now, this is what we're looking at. Cocaine from South America coming into the U.S. through the Lesser Antilles and then onto the continental United States. Someone is hurting. When we arrive into San Juan, we're gonna take the narcotics to the Customs and Border Protection vault.
Somewhere in this shipment, agents hope to find clues to a major cartel.
That's a good start. Radio check, radio check.
At 11 a.m., San Juan's Luis Muñoz Marin International Airport.
Próximo. Propósito la visita.
CBP officer Santiago Torres looks for fugitives and smugglers, hiding among over 20,000 passengers each day.
Next.
If he doesn't stop criminals here, cities like Miami and New York are a quick domestic flight away.
Next. Más de $10,000.
A half hour into his shift, Officer Torres questions a man arriving from the Dominican Republic.
Bringing any merchandise, food items? Yes, please.
Torres recognizes the man's name from a bulletin issued by the New York Police Department.
He had a possible warrant for his arrest in the state of New York.
At a holding area, CBP officer Pedro Rios takes the case.
We got nothing right now.
According to the NYPD bulletin, the man may be indicted on multi-million-dollar cocaine charges. But the police warrant is 2 years old, and the trail of evidence runs cold.
The problem is that they have never been able to pick him up, so therefore he hasn't been processed or booked or anything like that.
If Officer Rios can't connect the man to the crime, a suspect may slip through his grasp.
I'm gonna call the detective now to make sure that he sends me the notification that they will extradite the person to New York. We need that if we want Puerto Rico Police Department to take custody of the subject tonight. If not, then we don't have a chance. As of now, what we have, our enforcement officer, Garay, which is on the phone right now, he's trying to get Puerto Rico Police Department to accept the custody of the subject, even though we don't have a hit on him on the fingerprints. There's no FBI record or nothing saying that, hey, you have a record. So Puerto Rico Police Department, they're playing safe by saying, well, if you cannot produce that, then I won't take the body. They want to extradite and prosecute him in New York. And we're going to delay as much as we can to see if they can produce the paperwork that the Puerto Rico Police Department is asking for.
But Rios has no guarantee he'll get extradition paperwork in time.
¿Alguna vez tú has tenido algún problema con la ley? ¿Te han arrestado?
No, te respondí ahorita que no.
¿Nunca te han arrestado?
Nunca.
¿Nunca has tenido problema con la ley?
Nunca. Nunca.
¿Nunca te ha parado un policía en la calle allá en Nueva York por alguna ofensa, algún crimen?
No, nunca. Por crimen, no.
Anteriormente a estar en Santo Domingo, ¿dónde estabas viviendo?
¿Anteriormente?
Sí, en Nueva York.
No, en Estados Unidos.
¿En dónde?
En el Bronx.
¿Hasta cuándo viviste en el Bronx, New York?
Cuando viajé a Santo Domingo a chequear el problema de la espalda, porque yo me había caído hospital.
The man left the U.S. just 10 days before a warrant was issued for his arrest.
O sea que anteriormente tú hacías eso en Nueva York, pintaba, te fuiste para la República Dominicana en junio del 2009 y hasta el día de hoy te has quedado allá trabajando y viviendo allá.
The suspect's story raises Officer Rios' suspicions even further. But it's not enough to detain him indefinitely. Time is running out.
Mr. Garay, do you have any updates on the...
Until now, we called the DEA unit in New York City to try to contact a special agent on the case. We're waiting for the call.
But did you tell that we do have an interest from New York that they will actually extradite and prosecute this gentleman for narcotic-related
I explained everything, but until now, until we don't have a straight answer from them, we're still waiting.
So right now we got nothing.
Rios needs more than a phone call. He needs a fingerprint match or a mugshot.
We wait until let me see. Yes, Nick,
it may be the call CBP is waiting for. (11:30 a.m.) Homeland Security Investigations agents Jaime Abreu and Harry Schmidt transport a drug seizure worth millions. Their goal, track down the cartel behind it.
We're waiting for other ICE agents and CBP officers that will help us escort the narcotics and seize evidence to the vault.
A convoy of armed agents and officers must protect the cargo.
Right now we're getting ready to depart the airport, leave the airport, en route to the CBP vault in San Juan. We're rushing to get from the airport to the CBP vault. There's always a chance of people trying to intercept you. But nothing, we're heading out there to transfer them to narcotics to the vault as soon as possible.
For security purposes, the route the convoy takes cannot be shown. At last, agents can examine the haul for clues to a South American cartel.
You have an AK-47. You have a Glock. This one. And the magazines for each one. And a silencer.
The fact that the kilos were really wrapped and in a plastic material is making it hard to unwrap everything and separate them.
But once they do, Abreu discovers more evidence of a professional smuggling ring.
Scorpion, branding, and some sort of
Swiss Army
cross type of.
They have different symbols the drug trafficking organizations use to either to identify their products or who the product is going to.
Now Abreu wants to know just how many drugs they took out of cartel hands.
That's it. What we got? 530. 530.9.
We have 530.9 kilograms of cocaine. That represents over 2,000 pounds, and that's over $13.2 million street value.
For ICE, it's one of the biggest seizures of the year. Drugs that will never make it to the streets.
Somebody's hurting right now. It's a big seizure.
At 10 a.m., CBP supervisor Jose Gonzalez investigates a suspicious boat.
The vessel's being searched. It was left abandoned on a sand dune close to one of the marinas here in San Juan. Apparently it came in this morning. We're not certain, but we believe she brought in a load because we don't know whether it was abandoned with any type of concealed load still inside. We don't know the details.
Go-fast boats like this one can reach 80 knots. Drug traffickers use them to get in and out in a hurry.
A vessel like this can easily be coming from Tortola, St. Thomas, St. Croix.
With no clues to the owner, they turn to mobile X-ray. Officers Jaime Vick and Timothy Ogg look for anomalies.
What we usually do, we take this baggy scan for density, and we try to look at the high density areas to see if there's any contraband packages or whatever in any of those void spaces.
Vic, what do we got?
I actually can't identify any contraband over here or anything, any anomalies. Only thing I want to take a look physically is these two packs over here.
We'll do a physical inspection of it and discount any other areas that we may find.
So we gotta go physically and take a look at them.
The boat seems clean, but there's one place left to look. The area flagged by X-ray.
These are the two anomalies we got on the image. It's actually the battery, and the other one is a two-cycle oil tank.
It's not what Vic had hoped to find. Then, below deck, Officer Ogg spots something the X-ray could not detect.
These are the areas we like to check. This is not a natural hole in the vessel. This was made. You could lift the rug and you can see it's a fresh cut right here made. This does not come from factory. You could also check this panel out, and you can look at the rest of the panels here. They all look, they don't look white. This panel looks brand new. You take this panel out, you got another void space with another hole made, fresh cut also here. This is where they store the narcotics, and right here.
The compartments may be empty, but CBP has all the evidence they need.
This vessel is seizable based on the fact that she's fit for smuggling.
For now, there will be one less boat smuggling drugs into Puerto Rico.
Well, it's hard to people to conceive the fact that this type of thing happens almost on a daily basis here in the island.
3 p.m., San Juan International Airport. CBP officer Pedro Rios waits for intel on a suspect.
Yes, Nick, tell me.
A call has just come in from New York.
Yes, I don't want to let him go, but my hands are tied until I don't have that on the system. Okay, I'll wait for your call. Okay.
What do you say?
We'll have to wait.
CBP confirms New York wants to extradite the suspect on an outstanding warrant for a criminal investigation. It's even bigger than Officer Rios was expecting.
The warrant for the arrest on the subject was issued pursuant to a drug scam totaling about 81 kilos of coke and about $2.5 million.
The suspect has family ties to a drug cartel, busted 2 years ago by the NYPD.
Which his uncle was indeed arrested and subsequently he was convicted. It just so happens that the subject lived with his uncle in New York at that time. So I'm pretty sure that he was involved and he knew. He decided to leave the United States on June 2nd of 2009. And in June 19, he was issued a warrant for his arrest.
At last, CBP gets a mugshot. It proves the man was lying when he said he'd never been investigated. Now, Officer Wilson Sandoval must link the photo to the case.
But now we see this picture over here, and he probably was detained or something under investigation or something like that because the police have this picture. So apparently he's lying, and I want to know if he can identify this picture. I think he left New York because he was under investigation.
This time, armed with concrete evidence, the officer's interrogation turns to confrontation.
¿Quién sacó esta foto?
¿Esa foto? Esa es mi licencia.
No es solamente tu licencia. Creo que esa foto, sí es tu licencia. Esa foto la cogieron en algún sitio. Ok, mira, yo te voy a poner algo hipotético. Okay.
Un ejemplo.
Pasó algo que a ti te entrevistaron la policía o algo y a ti a tu tío. Y cuando los entrevistaron ustedes, pues les tomaron esa foto. Después que lo entrevistaron ustedes, lo que sea, después tú te fuiste, lo que sea, y tu tío se quedó.
Yo nunca, a mí nunca nadie me ha entrevistado.
Ah, no, con tu tío.
Yo no tengo la mentira mía. No, yo no coger la huella acá de los pies.
Ya mismo vengo para acá para empezar a hacer el papel.
Despite the man's continued denial, Rios's hard work has paid off. The photo shows CBP caught a fugitive from justice. The case is now in the DA's hands.
And the marshals are on the way to pick them up so they can extradite him to New York. So basically, case closed on that.
Whatever brought the suspect to Puerto Rico, he now has a one-way ticket to respond to criminal charges.
If you've been bad or if you've done wrong, they don't try to think that you can sneak through San Juan because you will be caught and we will process.
Aris. Miente, buenas noches. Buenas noches, señor.
8 p.m., outside police headquarters, Caguas, Puerto Rico. Tonight, the Treasury Department has asked for protection on a dangerous raid.
Te pedimos que nos guarde, que guíe a nuestros supervisores y que los lleves a tomar las decisiones correctas. Te lo pedimos, Señor, en nombre del Padre, del Hijo, del Espíritu Santo. Amén.
With so many cartels evading law enforcement, the Treasury Department's trying a new tactic to take them down. Their mission, bust barrio bars, places where dealers are suspected of laundering money and selling drugs.
Side, face. Forward, march.
Veteran Special Agent Luis Figueroa will help supervise.
This place where we're going, last week they killed 4 people nearby, and of course they sell drugs.
Their first stop is a bar owned by one of the area's biggest drug lords, in a violent barrio under his control. Moving in, the Treasury will hunt for illegal practices, lapsed gambling or liquor licenses, tax evasion, any excuse to shut them down.
Policía! Policía!
This place is one of the main points of this barrio where they sell drugs, though.
Officers search suspects for drugs and weapons. Nearby, Figueroa finds evidence of a steady drug trade.
Go through the little hole in here. So they close it. Put their hand over here, the guy pays, and give him the drugs, and you never see his face.
This bag, it got a cocaine, 357 caliber guns.
In the main room, they hit the jackpot. The licenses are still in the drug lord's name. But as a convicted felon, he can't run a business with alcohol and gambling.
The owner of the place is in jail, so the licenses are invalid. The Treasury Department of Puerto Rico, but they're gonna close the place completely down.
Then, Figueroa gets intel over the radio. Drug deals and gambling are going down at another barrio business that may be under cartel control. 8:30 p.m., the Fajardo Ferry Terminal. Customs and Border Protection launches a surprise inspection.
Buenas noches. ¿Dónde nació?
Ponce.
Ponce. ¿Qué hospital en Ponce?
El distrito.
El distrito. ¿Y a qué escuela fue?
Border Patrol agents Eduardo Fonseca Colon and Patrick Smith question hundreds of passengers arriving from a Puerto Rican island off the East Coast.
Señor, buenas tardes. ¿De dónde es usted?
Puertorriqueño, de Guaynabo.
¿De Guaynabo? ¿Dónde nació? ¿En qué parte? ¿Pero en qué hospital?
En el hospital del maestro.
Hospital Maestro, está bien. Adelante.
Yo tengo mi carro ahí.
Fajardo is a destination for smugglers and illegal immigrants trying to reach the U.S. through the Puerto Rican islands of Vieques and Culebra. Over 50 ferries come through each week.
Buenas, ¿dónde usted?
Dominicano.
¿De dónde?
Dominicano.
Dominicano. ¿Tiene documento para estar aquí en...?
At 8:45 p.m., the agents question a man bearing a Dominican passport.
¿Está ilegal? ¿Para estar ilegal?
¿Tiene documento de inmigración para estar aquí?
Escúchame, un pasaporte es simplemente una identificación tuya de tu país. Un pasaporte lo que dice es, soy dominicano. Un pasaporte lo que dice que soy americano. Te estoy preguntando, ¿tienes visa para estar aquí legalmente?
His wife, a U.S. citizen, is with him. If the couple can't prove the man is legally allowed to be in the U.S., he'll be processed by Border Patrol and may be deported.
No puedes ir con él. Tienes un minuto para escribir.
Tienes un minuto, cualquier otra pregunta será hacia el compañero.
Entonces, ¿y qué es lo que van a hacer con él? Él se va a procesar y se va a enviar para atrás a su país.
Dependiendo de su antecedentes criminales de inmigración, se va a regresar a su país o se le va a dar cárcel y después se regresa a su país.
The man's wife pleads for their family. They have 3 children, all U.S. citizens.
No. Por favor.
Ok, ya terminamos con ella.
No tiene que firmar.
Agent Fonseca Colon takes the man away to process him. The couple's car is taken to a secondary inspection area. There, agents make a discovery.
One of the dogs made an alert between the 2 doors. So.
Now they must search the car for signs of illegal drugs. Border Patrol agents inspect a vehicle belonging to the wife of a suspected illegal immigrant. But after a thorough search, the car comes up clean.
We checked all the car. There was nothing there. We think that the wind blew the odor of the substance, but there's nothing there.
As agents finish with the car, they turn their attention to the detained Dominican man.
Está rompiendo la ley de inmigración, ¿no?
Está bien. Son cosas que ya estoy arrestado, no voy a hacer nada.
Border Patrol agent Loskar Luring takes over the case.
We just do the search, fingerprints in our system. They're gonna show up if we have any hits, prior hits. If they got anything in our system, that's a clue for it to be illegal. So we interview him and just find out he's illegal.
The man's been living in Puerto Rico since 2001, one of thousands of Dominicans who gain illegal entry to the U.S. each year.
Echar para adelante, como yo veía muchos dominicanos que venían y cuando llegaban bien. Y la cosa está buena allá, me veo.
He soon started a family.
La nena tiene 7, va para 8, el nene tiene 4, no, el nene tiene 5, ya va a cumplir 6 ahora en este mes. Yo lo voy a disfrutar eso. Si me deportan, me lo disfruto. Y el chiquito tiene 4, va para 4 en diciembre.
Now his only hope of staying is to appeal.
Aproveché de ahora cuando me lleve. Pues ya yo le dije a ella, a mi esposa, que haga la diligencia de buscar un abogado cuando me lleve para el otro lugar. Ahí yo hablo con él a ver qué se puede hacer. Porque ya yo tengo mis hijos aquí, tengo mi familia, y no me quiero separar de mis hijos. Por eso yo doy todo a mis hijos.
The man's case will be heard by an immigration judge. It may be a long while before he'll see his children again.
Most of those individuals, they're gonna see the judge, try to explain him, you know, that they got kids, or they working here, they got family, and so they think they got that chance to, you know, to see the judge and explain to him. It's pretty much, I mean, the judge gonna see the papers, you know, black and white, you know, and kind of determine, you know, apply the laws, and that's it. So he pretty much gonna go back to his country. It's sad, really sad, but it's illegal.
$12 a.m. 4 hours into a raid with the Treasury Department, the PRPD shuts down on Barrio Street. Supervisor Luis Figueroa arrives at their target, a bar that's a hotbed of illegal activity.
Because this place is to be known to have to be selling drugs, and some people inside are carrying arms.
The Treasury team moves in to inspect permits.
When the police come to intervene in a place like this, they are drunk, they're partying, and we interrupted their party. They arrested a guy with a firearm. He got a 8mm gun, and they took him away.
Officers look for fraud and tax evasion, evidence that could lead to criminal prosecution.
But when they check the slot machines, they don't have them permits. So they took the money inside the slot machines, which is about $350, and they're gonna take the slot machines. The machines belong to the Treasury Department now, and they dispose of them.
$350 in cash is a mere fraction of the hit, but each illegal slot machine could carry a fine over $5,000, and lost revenue could be in the tens of thousands. Figueroa believes places like these are proof that drug lords rule the barrios.
You never know what you're gonna find in the streets.
Tomorrow, officers will be back on the job, taking down cartels any way they can.
Welcome to San Juan.